From Minneapolis North High School, we present another edition of high school girls basketball. Tonight, it's the second annual edition of a new inter-city rivalry. The Minneapolis North Polars at 1-2 take on the Como Park Cougars at 2-1. Hi everyone, I'm Mike Peden, joined by Latoya Turk. Now, Latoya, you actually got to participate in this rivalry as a coach last year for Como Park. What makes this matchup such a big deal?
The teams are two teams that are weighted pretty heavily, the same. They look the same, very guard heavy. The coaches have a pretty similar coaching style. And it's a game that brings out a big crowd. So the crowd's involved. As you can hear, we have a DJ here. So it's going to be a pretty exciting game tonight.
Last year's theme for this game was unity in the community. This year, it takes a village. So it's not just a rivalry, but also an opportunity to showcase the bonds and strength that basketball provides to these schools.
Absolutely. Both of these coaches, Coach Crystal Flint and Coach Alexis Gray-Lawson, they do a lot in the community, and they're showing the girls how to be good citizens after basketball. So we'll see a lot. You'll hear about a lot of the activities that they do off the court. It's not just on the court for them.
The two teams have a very friendly rapport with one another, but don't let that fool you. They're going to be out to beat each other tonight. Como Park a little short-handed, no Rain Adams and Jada James. Rain Adams nursing a hamstring. Jada James suffered some bruising in the loss to Stillwater. But KK Asbury made quite the impression, 19 points. Even though Como Park lost, they have a lot of youth, and that's going to provide a strong foundation for years to come.
Right, and as well as KK, they also have a dynamic guard in Ronnie. So she'll be out there replacing Rain tonight. So I don't think there'll be any slack with Rain being on the bench. They'll make her proud.
And as always, you've got the sharpshooter in Michaela Van Nett. Minneapolis North, they have a lot of experience on their side. The same starting five from last year to this year, for the most part. It's a team that may be looking for that dynamic playmaker, that statement win. They haven't quite reached it yet, but you've got Alani Pettis coming back, Monique Wooten, Serena Ballard. So this is a team that's been stuck at the cusp for the last couple of years. Como Park gives them a chance to say, we're here.
Yes. For North High School, they also have Tiffany, who will be joining their varsity roster. And it'll be interesting to see what she brings to the table as well.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight and a lot of community talk. The starting lineup is coming up in a moment. You're watching high school girls basketball.
Network honoree. This certificate is awarded to our first honoree will be Ms. Maya Buckner. And it says, in recognition of the dedication to youth empowerment in the Twin Cities. And we appreciate you. We'll hear a little bit more about Maya in a minute. Maya, come back and go over the picture. Okay. Other person is Mr. Walter T. Banks. Both Maya and Q-Bear are also Minneapolis North High School alum, and we do appreciate you. I'm going to all right, so our reason to thank all the first being William Bates over there. At this time, we would like for everyone to stand for the pledge of the national anthem.
Okay, the pleasantries have concluded. Let's move to the starting lineups. For the visiting Como Park Cougars, Ronnie Porter will get the start. She's a 8th grade guard. Danica Patterson, the 5'10 senior center. Michaela Van Nett, the 5'5 senior guard. KK Asbury, the 8th grade guard, number 24, and Serena Cementelli, the 6-foot center, number 50. Minneapolis North will start Monique Wooten, the 5'8 senior guard. Serena Ballard, the 5'3 senior guard. Gianna Villarreal Griffin, the 5'3 senior guard. Jasmine Jackson, 5'7 sophomore forward, and Alani Pettis, the 5'9 sophomore forward. As we noted, Como Park playing shorthanded. North with a full complement of players tonight. As you may recall, Jasmine Jackson suffered a broken hand last year, missed half the season, and when I spoke to her before the game, said she was excited to get back on the floor and really excited to take part in this rivalry here. Zarina Cementelli noted that this game provides an opportunity for basketball fans to see that the lights have turned off. Well, we can't see anything. I haven't seen anything like this. Well, Matamidi does this.
Yes.
For their home games. We'll see that next Friday when they take on Como Park, with Minneapolis North getting in on the action now. What do you think of this?
It's pretty awesome. I like the theatrics of it.
Makes you wish they had this when you were playing at Washburn.
Absolutely.
Or Kentucky State.
We had it at Kentucky State. So it's great for the girls. Really gets their adrenaline going, gets them pumped up.
I was wondering if that was a spotlight or a t-shirt cannon. And now I know it's a spotlight. Now Jasmine Jackson, a defensive stopper and been on this team since 8th grade. One of the players who bought into Crystal Flint and her mindset, her mentality early on.
Right.
Now we'll see if they remember to turn the lights on. Okay.
Let's get ready to play ball.
Wouldn't have been just awesome if they flipped a switch and the lights didn't turn on?
I don't think so.
And they'd have to play in the dark. Minneapolis North at 1-2, Como Park at 2-1, and they're going to do their gatherings.
Pre-game chants.
Yep, pre-game chants, and then they're going to get together for a pre-game prayer. And I see Crystal Taylor has a cast on her arm. I wonder if Crystal Taylor has perhaps the most detailed injury report for an athlete post-career, because she tore her Achilles playing kickball. Someone put a bubble wrap around Crystal Taylor.
Right.
And now we'll move to a pre-game prayer. Well, this game certainly has one of the longer pre-game ceremonies in prep sports, but again, this is part of the signature of this series. Crystal and Lex hope to keep this an annual ritual as long as they're coaches of their respective teams.
And the flow will get smoother as they go along, as they progress.
Well, and as Rain Adams mentioned to me, what's nice about this, in most cases, once in a while you get this, but Central and South are one example, but a lot of St. Paul and Minneapolis teams don't play each other in the regular season until you get to the Twin Cities game. This gives you that inter-city rivalry early in the year as the starters take their formation.
Yes.
And are about to make some lemonade. Yes, I've already started.
How exciting to be out on the floor as an 8th grader starting a varsity game.
Okay, Kay Asbury and Ronnie Porter getting the start, but North, wide open Monique Wooten with a fast break bucket to get us started.
Wooten capitalizes on that miscommunication there.
Como Park lost to Stillwater, 73-65. They were up by 7 in the second half after trailing by 12, but went into a scoring drought late in the game. Consistency has been their issue over the last year or so. But Alexis Gray-Lawson said after the Stillwater game she couldn't be mad because both teams played really hard. It was a fun game. Michaela Van Nett misses the elbow J. Offensive rebound and putback for Danica Patterson.
And that's what she does. That is one of her strengths, is getting on that glass and putting it back up.
Minneapolis North lost to Cooper earlier in the week by 20. Alani Pettis open, and she will not beat Cementelli. Crystal said, North, it's going to take a little while. The biggest issue was they got down early and couldn't come back, but Robbinsdale Cooper, one of the top 10 teams in 3A this year, they are no easy out. And it is loud. Van Nett, deep three. You know she's going to take a few of those. Alani Pettis with the board.
Doing what she does best.
Jasmine Jackson sees a lane, goes for it. Oh, I thought it was going in. Van Nett off the screen. Asbury for 3. That's short. One thing's for sure, neither team reluctant to shoot the ball.
And Ronnie gets a hand in there.
And you noted, as you and I traveled here before the game, and I see Larry McKenzie and his crew checking out the scene. Alani Pettis, no lack of hustle, but nice dish to Jackson, but she couldn't finish. The biggest problem for Pettis is staying out of foul trouble.
Right.
You like her energy, but here's Ronnie Porter, drains the long deuce. Ronnie Porter had 8 points in the loss to Stillwater. She had a couple big plays. Villagrail Griffin steps into a 3 and buries it. Gianna Villareal Griffin, the niece of an old friend of mine and supporter of Minneapolis athletics, Gina Villareal. Asbury to Porter for 3.
And Ronnie said that's
strong.
one thing she wants to work on is taking her shot and playing her game.
Ballard comes up with it. They nickname her White Chocolate. Villareal Griffin, bullseye. Give the dime to Ballard. Villareal Griffin with a quick 6.
Are we going to shoot the lights out tonight?
Villareal Griffin already has a season high. Ballard with the strip. 1-on-1 against Asbury. Up and under. What a beauty. 2 years ago, she tried a behind-the-back fancy pass against Legacy Christian. Missed Andrea Gray, ended up costing them in overtime. That time, Ballard got the theatrics down to a T. That was beautiful. And that got the North fans into it. Van Nett off the heel.
Good box out by Pettis.
Early on, we thought North might have some trouble with the way Como Park crushed Orono to start the year. North struggling against Mounds View, but North not fooling around this time.
Absolutely. We have Autumn Tucker subbing in for KK for Como Park.
Doesn't this make you wish you were back on the bench?
I like over here. I am enjoying this part.
Jasmine Jackson, the shovel pass to Pettis. Bumps into Cementelli, nothing called. Jump ball. Who has the arrow? It's Como Park. Como Park stats, not up to specs yet. They've had a little trouble with the updates, but Asbury and Van Nett are your early leaders in scoring. Porter.
Being played tight.
Lobs it to Cementelli, and she's fouled by Jackson.
The amount of shooters that Cementelli has around her, she's really got to own that spot in the middle. A nice pivot and a kick out.
They actually called it on Gianna Villareal Griffin. Nonetheless, side out for the Cougars. Porter kick out, 3 on the way from Tucker. That's off the mark, the high carom. Oh, Vanette could not save it. Now, if you're wondering about Rain Adams and Jada James, the two are fine. Rain nursing a hamstring, Jada James got bruised in the loss to Stillwater, had a collision with the Stillwater player. Lexus Gray Lawson told me if they really wanted to, they could play tonight, but with Matamidi next week in a game that has section seating implications, they felt it would be better to save their energy.
Absolutely.
Monique Wooten with the putback. But the absence of those two not doing Como any favors right now. They trail 12-4. And the more baskets North scores, the more the crowd's going to get into it. Wooten with the steal. Here she comes. And Vanette with the poke. Wooten tried the hesitation, hoping Vanette would go by, and Michaela didn't fall for it.
Right.
You taught her that, didn't you?
We have another sub coming in, Shania Vanette, who is the younger sister of Michaela Vanette.
They've listed, well, she's listed as Shania Nichols in my program, but I think, right, they're sisters, and that's all you need to know. I go by Nichols, but if it's Vanette, 3 on the way, off the mark from number 24, Wooten with another rebound. Villarreal Griffin, that was too strong. We'll get number 24 in a minute, and that's going to be a reach and foul on Nichols. Number 24 for the Pullers is Tiffany McNeil.
And
McNeil.
Tiffany said over the summer, she worked on her game. She worked on bringing the ball up the floor and her drive and shooting. So we'll see how that plays out today for her.
Tucker likes to take those threes. Porter with the O-board. Como Park has yet to hit from deep. Patterson loses the ball. Good collapse by North, and they force a turnover. They lead by 8 with 12:37 left in the first.
I think someone's been doing some scouting here. Looks like they found a way.
3 from the corner. Ballard off the mark, but a foul on the Cougars. Some scouting, and remember, these teams met a year ago, and neither team lost a lot to graduation, although Elena Jones did transfer to De La Salle. She is in attendance tonight, and they're going to call that foul on Tucker.
2 quick ones on Tucker, Autumn Tucker.
No, that's not what you're looking for if you're Alexis Gray Lawson. You know, and this is a game where you'd love to have Rain Adams.
Yes.
But again, she and Jada James in street clothes tonight. But McNeil goes baseline. Yes. Pollar's not fooling around. They're up by 10. And listen to the North student section. And the larger this league grows, the louder they're going to get, I believe.
Almost got to be able to penetrate that inside.
Vanette looking to do just that, gets the bounce.
I think she heard me.
That ends the North run for now. But we've seen this Como Park team work their way out of holes before. Pettis, no good. Gets her own miss, and a jump. North with the arrow. In the case of Como Park, well, you were there for the Twin Cities game 2 years ago. Started that game on a 15-0 deficit. Ended up winning that one, 91-89. McNeil, corner 3, bullseye. Right now, they're staring at an 11-point deficit, and Alexis Gray Lawson will call timeout. Everything going North's way in the first 6.5 minutes. But to continue on Como Park's resilience, Minneapolis Southwest, they were down 15-0 to start. They were down by 7 with just a couple minutes to go. And a little-known player by the name of Andrea Adams. Adams won it for the Cougars. She scored 43 in that one.
Right.
And then just on Tuesday, they trailed by 12 early, got the way back, led by 7, could have won that game. So this is a team that does not get rattled when they're trailing big. And Latoya and I may need to get our hearing checked at the end of this one. But how about North's start? That's going to be a foul on the Polars. What do you make of the 17-6 lead here?
Making a statement. They're taking this game very serious. They're attacking the basket. They're running the floor very well. And I think they know this Como team will keep fighting and keep fighting, and it's not smart to get down. It's not smart to start off with a deficit.
Well, they can work their way out of it in a hurry. Shania Nichols, rebound, Karen's back to her. She'll try again. Yes! Como
That
Park.
younger backcourt is really coming through for them.
And if Como Park can start knocking down some trays, you know what that'll do.
Right.
Ballard, no traveling. Alexandria McNeil going in. Tucker off the screen. Van Nett inside the line, rattles out. Rebound, Alexandria McNeil. The dish to Pettis.
Made it look too easy.
I thought Pettis cost herself a move, but it paid off. Van Nett drives and ball is deflected. 19-9, 10-10 to go. Mike Peden and Latoya Turk. The former Como Park coach who caught up with a few friendly faces over here before the game. I heard they were more excited that you were coming along than when I showed up.
Oh.
Bonnie Porter missing the elbow J. Rebound Shania Nichols.
She's out there working.
And that might be the spark plug Como Park needs.
Yes. You can see the intensity on her face.
High-low, but Patterson out of position.
And Shania was still right in there. Got her hand on that rebound.
Como Park struggling to find the basket. I don't know who's louder, the cheerleaders or the student section at North.
That student section is something else.
Crystal Flint calls a timeout as number 3, Tiana Jordan, was in trouble. Both coaches with esteemed credentials in the sport of basketball. Alexis Gray Lawson, an all Pac-10 honoree in her senior year. Had a illustrious career at California before playing 2 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury. And Crystal Flint, a member of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, went to the NCAA tournament in 1994, spent many years coaching at Minnesota at Concordia, and then spent several years as an official. She was on hand for several state tournaments, including the triple overtime thriller between Park Center and Marshall. Monique Wooten goes up, comes up short there.
Great athleticism from that kid.
And let's see if Asbury settled down after that early slump. There's Nichols, the 7th grader, passes to her big sister. And Michaela having a hard time finding the net right now. North will not get a transition play off.
Tiffany said she had been in the weight room. You could tell by the way she fired that ball.
To finish up that anecdote on Crystal Flint, that Park Center Marshall game It featured one of her former teammates, Dana Jobert Hayes, who was an assistant coach at Park Center at the time, and Leah B. Olson was the broadcaster.
Okay.
And afterward, the three kind of joked about how fun it was that three Gophers got to reunite at Williams Arena for 3 different roles. They all have a laugh about it now. Van Nett through the hole, count it!
She has a way of getting to the basket.
I was speaking with Michael Van Nett, Michaela's father, and he said after Tuesday, he felt Michaela should have maybe gone after it a little more, maybe played a little more selfishly. You know, she loves to shoot threes, but good things come when she drives to the basket too. And she completes a 3-point play. That was something that afflicted Como Park in the game with Stillwater. They didn't get to the line a lot. Stillwater had almost 30 free throw attempts, and they used that to their advantage. North in trouble, and they lose the ball. Monique Wooden's going to go back in.
Yeah, those corners and baselines can always be trouble for you. Stay out the corner, get off the baseline.
As you and I have noted before, the corners, the baseline, they all act as extra defenders.
Right.
Patterson lost control. Wooten with the strip.
Try it
Tiffany
again
McNeil.
this time.
Porter's not having any of it. Was that a scramble for a jump ball or an NFL scrum going after the loose ball? Body's hitting the floor.
Right. And that's normal for this game.
Was it normal when you played?
I don't recall hitting the floor as much as these young ladies hit the floor.
So you escaped without any floor burns.
I had a few.
Jackson, the dish to McNeil, yes. Tiffany McNeil up to 7. Patterson through the hole, out of position.
She loves that move. I think it's a timing thing she can make it here from here as well.
She ups the degree of difficulty and now has a chance at 3. I think she got the timing down there. That was perfect timing on your part, by the way. You bring up that note about her spin move, and lo and behold, she has a 3-point play chance.
You'll see that
You're not
from her a lot.
You're not wired up to the players, are you? Is there some hidden microphone I should be aware of?
I just know them a little bit, just a little.
Patterson completes a 3-point play. And Como Park slowly inching back. They trail by as much as 11. That lead is down to 6.
They subbed in Walker. She's another 8th grader on the roster.
Wearing number 30. Wooten under heavy traffic.
Gets her own rebound.
3 on the way. Bullseye! Alexandria McNeil, the 8th grader. On the other end, Asbury will shoot 2. Foul on Wooten. Asbury, as we noted, 19 points against Stillwater. Her breakout performance in her young but budding varsity career. I posted a highlight segment for Valley Access channels, and several Como Park fans shared it. And KK Asbury took a big step to becoming a household name someday in prep sports. North trying to go on the run, doesn't work out.
And this kid here can dribble and shoot. And she wants the ball.
Como, 5 8th graders and a 7th grader. You want youth, you've got it. Ronnie Porter drains the runner.
Nice floater.
It's a fountain of youth for Como Park. Wooten. Pass was tipped. Jackson threw it into traffic. Porter with the steal. She's going to back off. Didn't have the numbers for transition. Porter looking to work off the screen. Van Nett, deep three. And Como Park forcing the jump. Ronnie Porter.
Way to be there. Getting her hands in the passing lane, being able to read the defense. You know, she said she's working on increasing her basketball IQ. I don't know how much further she has to go. She's playing like a seasoned varsity player.
Well, she has a long way to go if she wants to catch up to my knowledge.
Maybe we should have her sit with you sometime.
Although when it comes to floor awareness, they probably would have me beat. Van Nett. The lob to KK. Van Nett goes up, bounces around the rim, doesn't fall. Wooten looking to push. Ballard, the kick out. Villarreal Griffin. That was a heat check, didn't go in. Wooten with the O board, but in trouble. Villarreal Griffin breaks free of Nichols, and that was last touched by Walker.
And
North
North
ball.
is definitely pushing the ball up the floor. On those rebounds, I think everyone who's on the floor has the ability to get the ball up the floor, and they're pushing it.
Ball is loose, picked up by Van Nett. 5:05 and counting. Porter for three. Missed everything. Walker out to Nichols. That one's short. Como Park having trouble knocking down those long threes. And we're going to have a foul call here. And Como's difficulty knocking down long-range shots is only going to...
We're unfamiliar with that.
Well, unfamiliar. I was going to say it's only going to provide incentive for North to sit back in the zone there or sit back in the lane.
Right.
Protect the shell. Last foul to give for the Cougars. We had overtime a year ago, still a long way to go, but Nichols with the strip. Wooten, look at her speed her way through, but she won't catch Nichols in time.
And look at the confidence in that 7th grader.
That being said, Wooten, she's got, look at that stride though.
Oh yes.
She can move down the court in a hurry. Does she take part in track?
I'm not sure.
She should. Autumn Tucker will go back in and place a Porter.
We got a substitution. Autumn Tucker's coming in for Ronnie Porter.
Hey, we got the next one, ref.
Tiffany McNeil goes baseline, but she stepped on the line. Crystal Flint will call timeout. Her Polish are up by 5 with 4:12 to go in the first half. We have a musical performance coming your way at halftime. And for those who are watching this game, wherever it may be, we're also going to have a little feature that will run on BMA Networks, one of my new homes. I had a chance to speak with Crystal Flint and a few of the Como and North players about what this rivalry means to them. As we noted, they add a little pizzazz to it. William Baker, the Bake Show, I believe is his stage name.
William Bake Show Baker.
Yes, the Bake Show.
He is one of the premier DJs in the Twin Cities, also a DJ at KMOJ, and he's joined today by Walter Banks Bear, who's a staple in North Minneapolis, or Minneapolis in general.
And a staple at KMOJ, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And a supporter for basketball around the Twin Cities. You can always catch him at a game.
Both were honored by Flint and Gray Lawson before the game, as was Nate Galloway, the athletic director of Como Park, and he had to come in a chaotic situation. The previous athletic director, Mike Searles, was dismissed following embezzlement allegations. He retired from the St. Paul Central AD position, but much like Faith Johnson-Patterson, it's tough to leave a job you like.
Yes.
And we should point out his granddaughter plays at Minnehaha Academy.
Yes.
So I wonder who he'll cheer for when Como and Minnehaha meet later this year.
Galloway doesn't really cheer out loud.
Well, not externally, but internally. Tiffany McNeil, North fans are going to cheer that steal and score. McNeil with the steal. Nice play on words there by the North PA announcer. And Tiffany McNeil up to 9 points. Porter to Van Nett. Every time she touches the ball, North collapses on her. They're going to make Van Nett work for everything.
Yes. And now we have Donika Patterson coming back in. And we'll see if we can get some help on these rebounds here.
And it would be nice if KK Asbury could get going, because she was somebody who can offer assistance to Van Nett if she gets on a groove.
I mean, they have sharpshooters on the floor right now for Como.
And as much as Como has struggled, as Van Nett misses another three, they're only down by 7. 3 on the way. Off the mark.
3 on 2. Let's see if we can capitalize on this.
Does it look like it? Asbury, spin move, and she'll shoot 2.
She's a very strong guard.
Asbury, though, blanked from the free throw line in her last trip. KK Asbury, her given name is Caitlin, played at Highland Park a year ago as a 7th grader, moved to Como, and in the words of a Como parent, a lot of folks transferred to Como because they felt the Cougars had the best chance of making a deep postseason run. And when you play below 9th grade, you can transfer without risking sitting out a year.
Right.
Asbury finally gets on the board. 26-20 our
Maybe
score.
that's what she'll need to get going.
High-low, Jackson is fouled from behind. She'll shoot 2.
It looks like Vanette slipped. She's trying to get there.
Jasmine Jackson averaging 7.3 a game in her first 3 games of the year.
And Como's in the bonus.
Well, both teams are in the bonus, effectively. Jackson may not be the flashiest player, but ever since she's put on a North jersey as an 8th grader, Crystal Flint has sung praises about her IQ and her leadership.
Yes. Yes.
And she's quite the conversationalist, too.
I saw that in your interviews. She seemed very posed.
Well, she was a little nervous at first. She'd only been interviewed once before.
North is doing a very good job of stopping the dribble drive into the lane by Como, really forcing them to take those outside shots.
And if Como was able to knock down those threes, North would have to respect that, but it's not working out that way for the Cougars. North saves it. Ballard for 3. Off the heel, high carom goes to McNeil.
Oh,
and she whiffed it. She broke through
And
missed
hustled
an
back on defense.
well, at least you have that, but you missed an easy layup, and on the other end, Ronnie Porter will shoot 2. 1 and 1, I should say. Nope, they do call it a shooting motion. Tough break for North. McNeil had an easy layup. She couldn't convert. Ronnie Porter has a chance to get Como a little momentum.
She makes the first of 2 free throws.
As we noted, it seems like Como has struggled throughout the first half, and they're only down by 7.
Right.
Not like they've been struggling all that much. Porter knocks down both free throws, and she comes up with the poke. 1-on-1 with Jackson. Couldn't knock it down, and we're going to have free throws going the other way. Foul is the second on Michaela Van Nett.
I think Como will have great opportunities for their backcourt's really quick. So to trap and to press, it's going to be a good look for them. But they got to stay out of foul trouble while they're doing it. So just keeping those arms straight up and not reaching in, it's going to be crucial.
Jordan missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Van Nett still can't get her three-point stroke going. Ballard through the hole, drains it.
Found the opening.
50 seconds. Whoa, Van Nett left alone, but Jackson gets in there in time for the block. Ballard to Jordan. And Jordan didn't see an opening. North will back off. And they can
There's
hope
that discipline there.
They can hope for the final shot if they wish. And they're not going to get that chance. Como harassing Ballard, and it results in a turnover. Let's see if the Cougars can capitalize here. The Cougars have just 1 3-point field goal coming from Nichols. Everyone else has come up goose eggs. 8 seconds. Van Nett through the double team, and she'll shoot 2.
Yes. Let's see if these free throws will get her going.
As you may know, Minneapolis North classed up this year. They're in 2A now, in Section 5 2A, where they followed Maranatha Christian Academy.
Right.
Como still in 4 3A.
Van Nett makes both of her free throws.
And North throws it away. Como may have enough time here to get one more play off. Alexis Gray-Lawson is not going to call a timeout. She has in the past to get a playoff.
And she'll shoot it.
Nichols not in good position there. 30-24 our score in favor of the Polars. Como Park, if they can find a way to get their long distance shooting going, that could turn the tide in this game, but you got to give credit to North's defense, especially in the opening minutes.
Right.
So with that, we'll go to our musical performance and then come back for the second half. You're watching high school girls basketball. The Polars lead the Cougars 30-24.
This series was the brainchild of Coach Alexis Gray Larson and her assistant coach at the time, Latoya Turk.
The St. Paul community and the Minneapolis community coming together. It's just showing that like we stand strong as like a Twin Cities together.
I get it's a rivalry, but it's like I feel like it's more to like a sisterhood and what comes out of the game and what we get before the game, the prayer and the bond and all of that.
There's a lot of stereotypes with young black women that we're aggressive and fight, but it shows that we can come together as two inner city schools and unite and play without those type of aggressions and still be friends after the game regardless of the outcome.
We want the kids to be exposed to what it looks like, what it feels like to play in front of people that genuinely support you.
I feel like it's made me like be able to communicate more with others, become a leader.
Well, I've met a lot of people since I've been playing basketball. It developed my social skills and all that.
Being able to have a bond with someone and being able to know that I can rely on people as far as my coach and as far as my teammates and knowing that someone has my back, that's what's powerful for me about this sport.
We play AAU together, so over the summer we get to play together, and we did kind of like a project before the season started with them, and we sat and ate and we talked about the season and our future.
And we talked about, you know, what it takes to be an NCAA student athlete, that there's different levels, brought in some speakers that talked about raising the bar.
This is about community and two different cities coming together and just having fun. Playing a game that's supposed to be fun.
It's powerful that we're coming together as two rivalry cities and uniting as one to symbolize a greater, deeper meaning, especially with all the things that have been happening in the past 2 years as far as deaths and gun violence. Those are things that affect both of our cities, so it's powerful for us to come together as one when we aren't supposed to get along.
The North fans are rocking along to 24K Magic. And they've been in a festive mood at halftime, and they have plenty of reason to be, with a 30-24 lead over the Como Park Cougars as we get ready to start the second half. Mike Peden with you, and Latoya Turk will rejoin me shortly. Notables from the first half. Michaela Van Nett with 7 points for the Cougars. Shania Nichols has 5. Ronnie Porter has 6. Danica Patterson has 5. Minneapolis North, Tiffany McNeil leads with 9. Gianna Villarreal Griffin has 6. She knocked down a couple of early threes. Ballard and Wooten have 4, but the story of the game, North's defense. They got out to an early jump in the first half, and that allowed them to build a lead. Their largest advantage was 11. Como has whittled it down to 5 or 6, but little success beyond the arc. Just 1 3-pointer. Michaela Van Nett has yet to find her stroke. And if Como has trouble knocking down 3-pointers, that can make it difficult to win in this game, because North has been able to lay back, clog the lane, and dare the Cougars to attack the lane. So we'll start the second half, Como wearing the road white, North wearing the home blue. The second annual meeting between Como Park and Minneapolis North. And it takes a village theme this year. Last year it was unity in the community, and Latoya Turk is now going to rejoin me. Wooten goes up, and she's had some struggles and early success with the inside penetration, not so much since. Now, let's see if Como can knock down some threes. Ronnie Porter cannot. And Latoya, who's just rejoined me. North looking to go transition. Jasmine Jackson dishes to Peden, and they will complete the fast break play.
North is running the floor very well.
And I was noting, if Como can't knock down some 3-pointers, it's going to be really difficult to break North's interior defense.
Right.
They cannot get anything going outside.
And that middle is wide open. Pettis is playing really high. And that comes with basketball IQ too as well, seeing where the gaps are and attacking the gaps.
Now, what were you off to at halftime? I was wondering if you were ever going to come back up here.
I would never leave you, Mike. Saying hi to Walter Hugh Banks. Some of my...
oh, yes, because you know everybody. Villarreal Griffin off the window. Patterson.
She drops that shoulder like she's playing football.
Couldn't see the basket, though, and ended up throwing a wild shot up. Whoop! Sinks the baseline jumper. And this is not the start Como was looking for in the second half. North building their lead again. Vanette.
Porter with the rebound and the putback.
Do you think Vanette might be forcing it here?
Possibly.
Porter goes up to 8 with that putback. Patterson got the deflection. It will stay with the Polars. 15:43 left in the second half.
Tiffany McNeil back in for the North Polars.
McNeil, yes.
Making it look easy.
Tiffany McNeil had just 4 points before tonight's game. She's up to 11 right now. And Vanette, nothing is going right for Michaela Vanette. She has 7 points, but she's had to work awfully hard.
And now Jashana Baker, number 11, is coming in the game. She's the daughter of William Bakeshow Baker, who's also an alumni of Como. And Jashana in her junior varsity game is known as being a shooter and a defender. So let's look to see if they're looking for her to shoot here, generate some points.
Pettis gets her own miss and draws a foul on Asbury.
And a lot of the younger girls on the team, the 7th and 8th graders, and even some of the 10th graders have played AAU ball together with the Ball and Pretty program that's coached by the assistant coach at Como.
Alexis Gray Lawson or?
Yolanda.
Oh, Yolanda.
Yeah. And so they've had some time together.
Tiffany McNeil having a breakout game. She's up to 13.
I don't think this will be the last of her breakout games.
Shania Nichols missing another three-pointer, and Como cannot buy a basket on the outside. But they do force a turnover, and as you pointed out, if Como could penetrate to the inside, that might help them out, but nothing going in.
Penetrate and then have those shooters rotate.
Just one three-pointer.
And as we said before, everyone out on that floor can shoot.
And a lot of the shots have been on target, just they're not going in. Baker missing there. Jackson, nice hesitation move, and she gets the friendly bounce.
And as a shooting coach would tell you, make sure your feet are set, make sure you're following through, put your hand in the basket. Just a few things that keeping that ball from going in.
Vanette draws the blocking foul on Pettis, much to her displeasure. And who's to say what would have happened if Adams and James weren't hurt, but Jada James, an 8th grader, but giving you a sufficient replacement to Elena Jones in the post.
Right.
Como doesn't have that. Cementelli played a few minutes early in the first half, but this hasn't really been able to keep up, and Rain Adams is feisty. Michaela Vanette, most of her points coming from the free throw line.
And right now, Michaela's the tallest person on the floor at 5'7" for Como. So it's really going to be hard for them to do anything on the inside.
They're 9 of 12 from the free throw line. Michaela Van Nett is a sharpshooter from the 15-foot mark. And a traveling violation on Ballard. Free throw shooting, the only saving grace for Van Nett right now. She has made all 5. And she was a perfect 5 of 5 on Tuesday against Stillwater.
And she's going to keep trying. That's one thing.
Offensive foul. You almost could see that coming. Van Nett drove and North collapsed the box, if you will.
Right. I've seen her shoot her way out of this slump before. We have 13:48 left. The two seniors, Autumn Tucker and Michaela Van Nett on the floor.
There. And North, a costly miss. And Pettis was wide open. You got to make those.
Right.
I don't care what level.
Right. Let's see if the two seniors, Autumn Tucker and Michaela Van Nett, can get something going here on the floor.
Shania Nichols way off.
And Tiffany's on the roll.
And she comes up short too. But the biggest difference between tonight and Thursday, the inside penetration, Como not able to find anything inside. North just sitting in that box and one of theirs. They are daring Como to knock down a shot from the outside. And Asbury was in trouble, throws it right into McNeil's hands. Wooten goes up and in.
And, you know, before the game, I talked to some of the North players, and they all had a similar theme that they were going to get out and run because of the lack of transition defense from Como. And it's showing on these fast break points.
Michaela Van Nett finally gets a three-point shot to fall. Now Como picking up the pressure defense. And Pettis called for the offensive foul. KK Asbury. They're not keeping track of it on the scoreboard. But we noted that in the first half, Alani Pettis has trouble staying out of foul trouble. That's someone, Como picking up on that, attacking it. And Autumn Tucker missing the three, but Porter, well, a little out of position there. Alexandria McNeil, that's going to be short.
And Porter got her hand on a rebound underneath the basket and then transition on defense.
Asbury will shoot two. Asbury having trouble at the free throw line, and a lot of the younger players sometimes have trouble with that.
Yeah, and that's fixable.
Asbury,
free throws are fixable.
Asbury has made just one free throw, and if gets to that point, North may consider hacking her down the road.
Right.
If this game gets close. It's something, if I'm a coach, that would be something, my first thing, and I know there's a lot you have to do, but
and this is
free throws, to me.
This is a big game. There's a lot of fans here.
Michaela Van Nett, is she heating up?
back-to-back.
Is she heating up? Well, Minneapolis North scoring another transition bucket. Monique Wooten starting to pick up the pace. But Michaela Van Nett starting to knock down threes, and we'll see if that makes North respect her on the floor. She's open again. Well, that's going to be short. Rebound goes to Porter. Asbury lines it up. She's off. And Asbury, we couldn't see it from here because the student section is standing in front of us. We won't fault them for that. But Asbury, somewhere down there, forced a traveling violation on North, so they're going to hang on to it. Autumn Tucker, pass is deflected. North can go on the run again. Well, Tucker was able to stop Wooten. It will stay with the Polars. 10:49 to go. The Polars up by 10. And it is Como ball. They had signaled North, although Villarreal Griffin touched it as it was going out of bounds, so the officials on top of it.
And we really need Autumn to take care of the ball better. As a senior, as a guard, we know she can dribble, we know she can run the offense, we know that she can shoot. We need to see that tonight. Her team needs her.
That's not going to get it done. Jackson to Wooten, got it.
North came to play today.
Timeout, Alexis Gray-Lawson. Could this be the statement win Crystal Flint has been looking for? The last couple of years, they've come close. They've had some memorable tussles with Minneapolis South, but they haven't been able to knock them off in the last couple of years.
This would be a huge confidence booster for the North Polars if they can finish this game and come out with a win against the Como Cougars.
And we should point out, this is the first week where they've had a full roster. They missed a few key players at the Hamlin tip-off tournament last weekend.
Right. We know that Coach Flint's a perfectionist, and I would like to hear what she's saying in the huddle.
Well, she has a lot to be proud of here.
Absolutely.
She's kept Asbury from doing any damage. And Van Nett, she's up to 15 now, but not getting much help. Wooten has 8 points in the second half, 12 altogether. And Tiffany McNeil, she's a junior, but this could be, like you said, the first of hopefully several breakout games.
Right.
Again, we noted in the open, North, since Crystal Flint took over, doesn't have that dynamic playmaker that can carry a team. Andrea Adams fulfilled that role at Como Park 2 years ago.
But I think Crystal would prefer 5 team players over one dynamic.
I think any coach would tell you that if you were to ask them. On the record, they say, well, we prefer to have 5 team players, but my point is, you have someone that fulcrum, that steady hand. Alexandria McNeil off the inbound.
Once again, went to sleep on the defensive end.
And because Andrea Adams, a couple years ago, how many times did she get Como out of a jam?
Right.
I mean, you always are going to want to say, well, we want 5 team players, but Ronnie Porter drains the runner, and she's up to 10. Having someone who can provide that beacon of leadership as Wooten will shoot free throws, that is crucial. I mean, a lot of the top teams, as much as they talk about team play, Gabby Hawk last year for Elk River and how she stepped up after Abby Shai graduated. Destiny Oberg at Holy Angels the last couple of years. Carmen Backus at Chisago Lakes. You know, having that playmaker can do so much for your team.
Right.
And that's not to say that several players can't take that role at North, but, well, Tamara Moore comes to mind in the late 90s. The first African-American to win Miss Basketball.
Right.
Since then, 9 players have won that award. Tyshana Johnson and Alina Starr at De La Salle. Monique Wooten makes both free throws, and North still up by 14. Como unable to reel in this deficit. And it looks like the Polars
And Como's
are in
made
control.
some subs.
And they are just not able to withstand North's pressure defense. This is a North team that wasn't even in the top 20 in 2A. Tiffany McNeil, that could have been a dagger for the Polars.
Oh my. The confidence to pull that trigger on that shot.
Van Nett swarmed again.
They're packing it in on the inside. It's really hard to get in the middle.
Autumn
That's what they're
Tucker
gonna
will bake
need.
it off the window. But Como's running out of time.
And if there's 4 players on Vanette,
Well, every time she touches the ball, she's going to draw a lot of coverage. And North, look out, Wooten colliding with the photographers. And that's why most officials will keep media away from the foul lane.
Wooten said over the summer she spent a lot of time in the gym working on her game.
Cementelli back in for the Cougars, as is Michaela Watson. Gray Lawson looking to get some more bodies down low,
travel.
and Jackson travels. Another 3, no good. Cementelli rips it away. I don't know how she put that in. That looked unbalanced, off kilter, and North throws it away. Now they're starting to get rattled.
Couple of good sequences there for Como.
And Serena Ballard's going to go back in. Remember, this game did go to overtime, and Crystal Flint's going to call a timeout.
Is she going to calm her team down?
Now, you mentioned Yolanda, one of the new assistants, Brian Pearson and Andre Tellis, also taking over your job. How would you say they're doing for Como Park?
I think the team looks good.
And speaking of community, with Minneapolis North, they have a pair of alumni on their staff, Crystal Taylor and Tisa Mitchell. Mitchell and Taylor both winning state titles.
Great North history over on that north side. But for the coaches at Como, Brian Pearson is the head coach for Murray Junior High girls basketball team. So there are some players that played for him 7th and 8th grade at Murray who are now playing with him now. And then with Yolanda having the access to the AAU program, that's a great connection for the Como Park Cougars.
And there are 2 other North alumni coaching at Edison. Tamara Moore and Maya Johnson, both assistants to Faith Johnson Patterson, who is officially the interim head coach.
Congratulations, ladies.
Cementelli. That's where you want Serena to shoot if you're defending on North. She does not have a lot of range. And Watson's going to go out.
Good trap. And that's what those ladies do right there. You can count on Jashana Baker. and Ronnie Porter to give you good defense.
They forced the jump, and Como had the arrow, but they got to find a way to score. Van Nett. She'll shoot 2. The foul is on Jasmine Jackson, her first. Michaela Van Nett up to 15.
When those shots are that short like that, it's legs. Legs, legs, legs. And those legs come up off those toes.
And you've been hounded by North all game. Could fatigue start to show? Van Nett has to settle for a split.
So you see Como with the press there.
North, they're just going to slice it, and Wooten comes up short. You mentioned Flint being a perfectionist. I don't think she'll be too thrilled about the fast break penetration. She's had a few good plays, her team has, but they've missed a few bunnies as well. Van Nett picks off the pass. Hesitates, goes up, and yikes. I think both teams are starting to get a little weary. Well, there you go.
Oh, I think Ballard took a blow to the face.
Wooten scores, she's up to 16. 12
She still
points
has
this
her
half.
eyes closed.
Van Nett, bullseye. Como needed that. So Van Nett knocks down her third triple. Ballard has a lane and is blocked, but Tucker taps it out of bounds. And Ballard is going to go out. Tiffany McNeil goes back in. And she is going to head to the locker room, Ballard is, to get examined. So Flint aware of Ballard's eye problem. The team is up by 8. They've held the upper hand throughout this game.
And it looks like they're going to burn a little time off the clock. Oh, Pettis.
No, I wouldn't say that yet. They're only down by 8, 5:49. That's an eternity in basketball time.
Yes.
Remember, your Como Park team 2 years ago came back from 7 down with under 2 minutes to play to beat Southwest in the Twin Cities game.
Yes.
It can be done. And if you want to go way back, Red Lake, well, Baker missing the three-pointer, but Red Lake, the boys team, came back from a double-digit deficit to force overtime on Wabasso, but Monique Wooten is just too strong in transition for the Polars tonight.
Right.
She's had a few misses, but plenty of makes. And Shania Nichols is going to go back in for the Cougars.
The Polars are really capitalizing on Como not getting back on defense.
And again, you wonder how things might be different if Rain Adams or Jada James could play, but they will be back next week from Automedine.
Yes.
North up by 11, and Nichols is on the line. No, Alexis Gray Lawson called a timeout. 5:21 to go, and we'll see what happens, but the trend favors North at this point. Michaela Van Nett doing her job. She's up to 19, but Asbury not able to get going. And Jada James, well, look at what the...
It's a crowd favorite. This song is a crowd favorite.
The funny thing is, I remember when this song was big, it came out 10 years ago, and people are still dancing to it. You know, there are some songs that get old after 3 months, not this one. The funny thing is, wasn't that a one-hit wonder for Soulja Boy?
Yes.
Tell him. And the North fans have been dancing all night. I'd like to see, for a boys game, the boys host Hopkins later this year.
Yes.
What's that atmosphere going to be like? And the student section has yet to sit down. They don't need those seats.
No.
You can just take them out. Vanette through the hole, drains it.
Determined, that's determination there.
Well, Michaela Vanette is not going to quit. Wooten to McNeil. Oh, and she walked again.
It's too quick, and look how they get back on defense. All 5 Blues are back.
Well, it's a set play here. That helps. It helps when the whistle stops. When the whistle blows, the play stops.
Trying to get it back to her.
But North content to pack it in, and Patterson will shoot 2. That's, well, it's not North's last foul to give. They had 2, now they'll have 1. Patterson clanks the first one.
They've had so many of those in and outs tonight. So many.
And again, if you're Como Park, Vanette, your one reliable free throw shooter in the early part of the season. If you're Minneapolis North, you don't mind if folks like Patterson or Asbury go to the line. Make them work for it.
Oh, they've had so many traveling ball handling errors here.
That's the thing. I mean, Como, they got to find a way to get some points, but North is keeping the door open.
Right.
Vanette receiving instruction from her coach, and that pass almost
good
went out of
cleanup by
bounds.
Ronnie Porter. And the North team looks very relaxed. They're running their sets. They're sticking to their game plan, I think.
Last foul to give for the Cougars.
And Como really needs to make a run now. We've gotten down to 3:53.
And they just haven't been able to do so consistently. North denying them the inside, and Wooten is just all over the place. She takes the dish from Jackson. She's up to 21. That might be enough.
North, they're sliding in great. Their help side looks good.
Asbury missed the three-pointer, and
It
looks
would have
like
been
North
nice to see Pettis box out on that.
from the looks of it, North is going to hang on for the win.
And again,
There's the dagger. I'd say that's the dagger. Monique Wooten, her previous season high was 18 through 3 games. She's up to 23 now. Monique Wooten, the senior.
She makes good on that free throw for a 3-point play.
She's up to 24, and the Polars, I think, exhale now. Maybe not the cleanest closeout in the world, but it's going to be enough. Just no outside game tonight for the Cougars, at least not enough of one. And Alani Pettis.
And Pettis just manhandled her
strength.
underneath that basket.
That was muscle.
That
And Como
inside
just-
defense is
that-
so tight.
And looking at the body language, Van Nett trying to force something that just wasn't there. And yeah, Como,
And they're subbing in their junior varsity players now, so
well, Wooten's basket made this one a done deal. So North is going to pick up a win that could give them a lot of confidence moving forward.
yes.
Again, Minneapolis South has been a thorn over the last couple of years. That's going to be their test. And I'm not quite sure what the rest of the schedule holds, but
We've heard that sound so many times, that hitting the plate on the back of the rim there.
Monique Wooten, 20 points in the second half.
I can see it. She said one of her skills were breaking ankles.
I don't know if she's broken any ankles tonight, but she has posterized Como Park a few times.
And she said their team goal tonight was to go hard and second chances. Second efforts.
North will go to 2-2. Como will fall to 2-2, and it doesn't get any easier for the Cougars. Next week, they have Matamidi and Waseca on back-to-back days. How did Jashana Baker put that in? How in the world did that go in? Won't be enough, but a little consolation here for the Cougars.
Right. Jashana's going to be that player that gets in, and she's going to give you 100%, regardless of the score.
Just a sophomore.
Right.
Tiffany McNeil.
It's a little too strong. They're so excited. Look at that fan section.
Where have I heard that chant before? But they have plenty of reason to be excited.
You just can't get the basket to fall. They're getting good shots. The ball is getting in the rim. It's just popping out on them.
That being said, give credit to North's box and one defense. They
Yes.
did not let that shell collapse. And Como, without any big bodies, could not break through. Final minute of play. That's a microcosm of Como's performance tonight.
And you got the smallest player on the floor out there still rebounding with 51 seconds left.
So this one will not go to overtime. Really not a lot of drama to this one, but if Como's outside game was a little more on point, maybe a different story, but give credit to North's interior defense. That made the difference tonight.
I'm sure Coach Alexis Gray will get in the gym, make some adjustments.
Well, remember, she lost two of her marquee players.
Right.
She will have them available next week. I spoke with Raines. He said she'll play. And more importantly, Jada James, it was a scary injury. Against Stillwater. Could have been a lot worse.
And one thing I can tell you, the Como Cougars do not like losing.
Dania Riley, number 0 in, and you wonder if a couple more three-pointers went in, who knows. That really was the difference. And when you play an interior defense as packed as North was, shooting from the outside can break it, but when you're not making baskets, it's tough to get inside.
Right, and they really didn't have an inside presence.
Jada James would usually provide that in this instance.
Right. Danica Patterson has been a force to deal with too these past 2 games. But not today.
Still a statement win for the Polars. They have a lot of work to do as well. And now the play is getting a little sloppy out there. This has not been the prettiest minute or so. North, again, they've got to work on a little bit. They left the door open, had some unforced turnovers that Crystal's not going to be pleased about, but those mistakes are easier to absorb when you win, and that's what they're going to do tonight.
Right.
And this may be a game Como just wants to forget. Michaela Van Nett will lead the Cougars with 21, but the night belongs to Minneapolis North. They will go to 2-2 and pick up that statement win that they've been looking for. Sure, some folks might put an asterisk on it without Rain or Jada James, but what matters is the W. And North, they've been oh so close in some of these bigger games. That will change tonight, and it could be the catalyst for success later this year. 62-50 the final, wire-to-wire win for the Polars, and here come the fans. They're storming the court. And with the girls waiting so long to get that big one, I'd say the fans deserve a court storm here.
Yes.
What a night, though, for Monique Wooten.
Right, right.
And for Como, they got to regroup. They've got Matabita and Wasika next week, Minneapolis North. We'll see if this is the start of something big down the road.
Right. Monique Wooten definitely showed her senior leadership tonight. She had a great supporting cast. I look forward to seeing these girls.
We'll try to get a word with Wooten before we wrap things up. This is high school girls basketball. North defeats Como Park 62-50. And I'm joined by Monique Wooten. Monique, a pretty lengthy post game, but I imagine there was a little bit of jumping and dancing and celebrating following the win over Como.
Yeah, it's just that last year we had a hard time beating them, but this time we did pretty good.
Yeah, Como not at full strength tonight, but you certainly didn't act that way. And tell me about that pressure defense, the interior. You guys, no matter what, refused to let that interior collapse.
To be honest, we knew what was expected. We knew the play that they was doing because we watched them at Hamlin University during the tournament. We knew they good players, they weak players, they strengths, they weaknesses.
4 points in the first half, 20 in the second. What led to your burst of scoring?
What led to that is this my senior year, so I know I got to do it big.
Well, you did it big, all right, and this is certainly a big win for this program. You know, you've been involved with Crystal Flint since she arrived, and up until now you've had some trouble, against teams where you can make a statement. Minneapolis South comes to mind. So what does it mean to, get a win against a gritty Como Park team?
It felt good. It felt good.
What did you think of that court storm your student section took part in afterward?
They was hyped. They was glad that we was won in. We was up. We was down. They had it intense.
And how did that add to the atmosphere? Pretty good crowd tonight, and you've got a raucous cheerleading section, a raucous student section, and it seemed like, especially in the first half, every time you got a bucket, the noise just kept going up.
Just that the intensity was high. Just know every time I score, I know I got somebody's support.
What do you think this win will do for this team as the season moves along?
Build some more teamwork, like ball pressure. We need to keep it under control. Don't worry about nothing. Play our game.
And is there anyone you want to say hi to?
Yeah. Hi, the Kaiser. Hey, everybody.
Well, congratulations on the win, Monique, and I'm sure it has to feel really good. Hopefully this is the start of something big for this Boulder team.
Yeah, it is.
That's Monique Wooten of Minneapolis North. That wraps up our coverage here. I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.